So what's up here that's free on a Thursday? Well, not sure I can reach it, but all the way up there, you might be able to see on the map, the Jewish History Museum, Polin, P-O-L-I-N. That one's free. If you're interested in learning about the Jewish history in Warsaw and Poland as a whole, the Ghetto Uprising Monument is up there, and a few others besides. The Erotic Art Museum, haven't heard of that one. Right, let's get out of the hostel and get going. I'll head up the street towards the castle and Old Town. As you can see, past the bus stop, which takes you to the airport if you need it. I'm going to take a street called Miodowa. That one will link up with another one. That should bring us as direct as I could see on the map to that Jewish History Museum. Let's see if it works out. Just a step or two off Miodowa. This fine looking building, which must get overlooked all the time. But rather splendid, isn't it? For those of another persuasion, there's the Irish pub over here. Live music. Whether it's live, genuine Irish performers, I'm not sure. Perhaps on occasion. And I think this would suit the group of English guys, very young English guys, very pleasant English guys. George and the 3 J's, I think we can call them, even though one's named Harvey. I'm going to call them George and the 3 J's, or George and the 3 Dragons, I could call them, couldn't I? But actually they behaved extremely well, even after a few throat lubrications, shall we say, at maybe that Irish pub, or maybe another one. Came in and all was good. Not sure what time they did come into the dorm last night, but there, and also the 2 guys from, was it Canada? Was it Yankee Land? Somewhere up there in North America. Yeah, everything worked out nicely. So, I've got some good roommates. I have to say a slight improvement on what I had before. And all very quiet, serene, well behaved, even though the young lads were going out and, as I say, having a few pops to quench their thirst. What have we got here? We've got Branicki Palace, Pałac Branicki. And it's all about the roof. It's all about the roof line, let's be honest. Just look at that fabulous collection of figures, which probably everybody walking down this side of the road doesn't notice, because they're all way up high. So it looks as though I am compelled to step over the other side of the road in any case. Little information board for those of you who understand Polish or who care to use a translating app in order to get a bit of background detail on this palace. In the old days, places could be called palaces, and it wasn't really a problem because there weren't 20th century traffic flying all around the place, you know? It's a nice little sweeping shot of the roof line. That's what's really the most eye-catching, although what's beneath is fine. And as I say, majority of people just aren't even going to notice. It's a shame, that's their loss. But it's our gain. As you can see, if it wasn't for all their traffic, this would be quite a nice little road to walk down, because there are some very pleasing looking buildings. And of course you can't go far in Warsaw without coming across a massive church. That one's there. Ooh, there is a little path I can take here. Little path, it says. Probably a load of speeding traffic will come roaring towards me at any moment. But will this little path, oh, mind your step, afford me a better angle to capture the lines of this female figure with a huge sword. She's not a mermaid because I can see her feet. There you go. You can quote me on that. So let's get back on track, shall we? Well now, walkie-talkie traveller, you said that your roommates were fine fellows, they were very considerate, and even though they'd had a few drinks, they came in nice and quietly, and there was nobody throwing up or screaming or doing anything obnoxious in the bedroom. So therefore that must mean our narrator is feeling refreshed today. Sadly, it's just one of those ironies of life. Here's Jesus wrapped up on a bench for some reason. How do I know it's supposed to be Jesus? Wow. Bit of a giveaway. That's a different type of little piece of artwork, isn't it? It is for me anyway. As for my freshness or otherwise this morning, unfortunately, having been almost celebrating the fact that my stomach pain issue, problem, intestines, guts and everything else had abated, and I'd been about, I'd say the last 3 to 4 weeks have been very good indeed, and I've been greatly relieved that I have been able to improve health-wise. Whatever the health issue is, which remains a mystery, it seems to have slowly just gone away, or so I thought. And then of course last night, no warning, I hadn't drank or eaten anything unusual, but bingo, I just started getting stomach pains. Again, waves of stomach pains and bloating and yeah, not a wind issue, shall we say, not a diarrhea issue. I started feeling a little bit mildly nauseous at one point, but it was such a sad situation to be in suddenly. You know, I thought, wow, somehow I seem to have shaken this off. Was it the increased mileage or kilometres covered in my walking, combined with the ginger added to my diet? I really didn't know. It was very sad to have that return last night, but just as quickly it stopped. And I was able to get a little bit of sleep, but of course, because I was exhausted, I really felt like I didn't want to get up and make a huge effort quickly to do much of anything this morning. Having said that, I was the first up in the room. However, Jan Kilinski. I've been distracted. I said I wouldn't be distracted, and what's happened? I've been distracted. Get your stupid ass over to Miodowa. I'm telling myself. Hey, I just remembered I can cut this from the video. Excellent. Oh, freeze. No, I don't mean that kind of freeze. I mean up there, that kind of freeze. So don't stop what you're doing, unless you're not actually watching the video. Up here is something worth looking at. It's some kind of ministry, by the look of it, these days. And I'm not going to get any closer with my camera because I've just got a feeling a guard might jump on me. So I will stay on this side of the road and pass on by. Temple and monastery. I'm thinking this is something to do with the Ukrainian church. It says no phones, but it doesn't say no cameras. But I've got a feeling they probably just didn't have a no camera sticker to put on the glass. Probably wouldn't appreciate some drifter like me coming along, waltzing around inside with my camera. So I won't go inside. Here on Miodowa 22/24, Theatre Collegium Nobilium. And why I stopped to make a little piece about this was they've got some little concert performances going on, so you might want to check when you're in town which ones would suit you potentially. Norwegian black metal. What do you think? Give it a go? We're not in Oslo, but you'd be tempted, wouldn't you? Don't know how old this is. They're talking about January 2023 up there. Maybe they've become the house band and they're now playing regularly every week. It's possible. It appears that the theatre is reaching out to the community. It's an outreach programme of events. Although those events are a little bit out of date. Another good looking door. What are your thoughts? It would appear to be that I've just stepped into a church really dedicated to the Polish army. That would be my guess. And it's fitting that the location should be here, as behind me there is a very significant memorial indeed. It's to those who rose up against the German occupation of Warsaw in 1944. There it is, straight across the road. We're at Plac Krasinski. There's the symbol we've seen a few times in the city already. The P and the W. Powstanie Warszawskie, 1944. I've got a feeling round the back of this building there's another something. I can't remember exactly. I think there's some figures worth taking a look at, which aren't to do with the uprising itself. There's the church we were just in, dedicated to the Polish army officers. I'm now just going to step through here. Here we are now. I didn't remember precisely who the figures were or what they were. But if you don't have an inquiring mind, then you're going to miss out on a few things. And the building looked so interesting. I remember years ago, I had to walk around and have a look to see if there were any other things of note to capture in photos back then, 20 years ago on my first visit. The lamest attempts at representing Pegasus in tin sheet form, or is it supposed to be something entirely different? Are these winged horses metaphors? But again, it's all about what's going on up on the roof, isn't it? Up on the roof, do 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 do. Do 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 do. Up on the roof, here at the National Library, Biblioteca Narodowa. I have to say, this is the sort of thing which comes out of left field and can really knock you sideways. Sometimes you can be walking through a town or a city, very often a capital city, and there'll be a big display of photos from cities around the world, and you can suddenly see something and feel drawn to it, and just in a split second want to go. I don't suddenly want to go to Xi'an in China, but somebody else might want to. And it's a throwback memory to, I'm trying to remember where it was. It was maybe Bucharest or maybe Plovdiv in Bulgaria. It was either Romania or Bulgaria somewhere, I'm pretty sure. There was a big display of outdoor photos blown up to show how Beirut had been rebuilt after so much warfare going on there in the past. And this was about, like so many things I'm saying these days, about 20 years ago. Canton. Nice. It did make me just twitch a little bit when I saw those pictures of New Beirut, and I was thinking to myself, oh, maybe it's possible one day in the future. And since then, of course, there's been more destruction and disturbance and uncertainty about Beirut and its current and future status, and I'm not feeling particularly drawn to Beirut anymore. But maybe one day again I'll see some pictures and think, oh yeah, I never did get there, and perhaps I do want to go now. Now this looks the most attractive of these pictures, I think. Suzhou. What's this? The embassy. Oh, it's the Chinese embassy. Oh, that would explain it. Promoting some of their cities for tourism. Better not get too close though with the camera. Don't want to upset anybody. We're going up this street which is called something like Bonifraterska, close to the intersection of Miodowa Street and Bonifraterska. We have quite a memorial. All the people from the places here affected either directly or their friends, family, neighbours. After the Second World War had ended, of course the Russians decided they're going to round up all the dangerous free thinkers, the libertarians, the artists, the teachers, the neighbourhood elders, anybody who wasn't an atheist, hardline communist follower living in Poland was going to be potentially subjected to being rounded up and deported to a gulag in Siberia. No potential threat or challenge or alternative thought to the doctrine of the Russian communists could be allowed to potentially grow, gain a footing in Poland, organise, disrupt and otherwise challenge the grip of the Communist Party. Divide and conquer. Officially in English known as the Monument to the Fallen and Murdered in the East.